Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back. Quick one on the issue of privacy and the subject matter of people selling and buying information, which is an extension of you. In other words, if your information has been sold, someone is vicariously selling you. As a side note, before going into the intent of this video, or shall I say this is part of it also, the whole situation with birth certificate and your ability to use it, you must comprehend this foundational principle. It is a must, it's not an option. When you hear about Databrokers, if you've ever watched any movie or seen the stock market, you will see some guys in front of some huge computers where they're looking up at some numbers, etc. And then everyone else is going about running around with papers in their hands. These guys in front of these computers that sit right in the middle of the market, these guys, they are what you call data brokers. In case it's not clear and you might wonder, well, what do they look like? What do they do? I'm sure you've seen some movies where there's this huge central computer and there's a screen where people are looking up at it and other people are holding notepads and they have some earbuds speaking to people, rendering information. Those are data brokers. They show it to you. The fancy term they have for it is called data analysts in the professional world. And these data analysts ranges from health field to trucking to any type of employment to housing, whatever it is humans engage in, there's a data analyst for that specific industry. Few patron posts were made listing specific industries and a specific type of consumer reporting agencies. Outside of the well-known Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, each of those industries have data analysts. All these specific credit reporting agencies are basically a form of credibility entity, or entities that keep the credibility of the data that's being sold in trade so they could see the efficiency of its worth. That's the reason why you can sue them and make money from them, because they're all private corporations and your information shouldn't even go into their hands. So these things that I'm showing step by step, they all add up. Absolutely all add up. These data analysts for each of these industries, for each of these specific fields of existence that human activities are intertwined with, they're the ones selling and buying. When you do that database injunction, there are umbrella corporations, regardless of which industry, that owns a lot of these things. And these umbrella corporations are the ones that sell your information and use the information and make money with your information in the stock and bond market and other type of markets. And another purpose of doing this bit is I get questions regarding the whole thing with the Silicon Valley Bank and the banks doing this, banks doing that. And here's something you should know. There are two types of economy. There's an external economy and there's an internal economy. Whatever the hell is going on in the external economy will have no significance on your life and the pattern of how you use money, aka your internal economy. If you notice, a little bit before this whole Silicon Valley Bank stuff and whatever will come, maybe about a month or two before now, I uploaded the first 2 parts to the infinite banking. That's not an accident. I'm showing you these things on purpose, because if you comprehend these things, none of that will matter. Before the infinite banking video, or a little bit after that, a video was uploaded on how money works. And a lot of posts and texts were made explaining these things in gradual details. And as of recent, maybe about 2 weeks before this whole Silicon Valley Bank stuff was hype, videos were uploaded regarding business credit and things of that nature. When you have all that put together, all that wouldn't matter. For instance, if the banks are not giving people their deposited money, what would it matter to you if you know how credit and loan works? What would it matter to you if you know how trust works? What would it matter to you if you know how private banking works? To be concerned with the affairs of the whole Silicon banking and things like that, because those banks in those areas are not meant for the average man. When I make these videos, I'm making this video for the everyday man. If you make 200K, trust me, you're an average man. All those issues, to worry about the whole Silicon banking and whatnot, all that is an effect of shadow banking. There's infinite banking, there's shadow banking, there's fractional reserve banking, all that. Shadow banking is their big daddy. Infinite banking being the equivalence of what you can do to handle your affairs in a similar manner without some money in your pocket. To worry about all those issues going on out there with the Silicon Bank is no different than worrying about your neighbor arguing with one another in their room, in their own house. Whereas you have your own house to put in order. To worry about what's going on with the whole Silicon Bank and stuff is to think, okay, because my neighbors are over there yelling at each other in their house, I should go over there and ask, hey, are you guys all right? Whereas you have your own relationships to work with the people inside your own house. The people in each independent house is synonymous with your financial and socioeconomic stability. Those people in that socioeconomic class, they're fixing their issue. Most of them know about how trust works. Most of them know that since FDIC only insure up to 250K based on certain types of trust and certain types of banking. Now there are different types of banking. There are certain types of savings account whereby you can insure more than 250K. And FDIC is not the only insuring entity. OCC insured, NAC insured. These are the things you should know beyond what the news and media are feeding you. All those are just hype. Those people who are in those Silicon Valley area and who do business of banking with those physical structure called banks, they have their issues covered. All these things you see in social media, they're just feeding it to you, the everyday man. Because once economy falls, you know who suffers? You. What I'm more concerned about is how you will not be a victim to someone else's act as a way of using you as their life insurance. Focus on your affairs and focus on competence. Focus and determination, guided by the compass of competence, is what separates people who are, quote, wealthy, successful, or are living a good life without being a victim to someone else's affairs and control, compared to those who are just following the follower, follow the media, follow whatever they say, just follow, just keep following. Think for yourself. If you know how a loan works, none of that will matter because it's those people's money they'll be given to you. See, regardless of whether there's some type of run in the banks or some bank, shadow banking and all that stuff going on, they will still keep giving out loans. Did you know that? The ones who put their full faith in banks by putting their money in banks are the losers in circumstances like this. The ones who know how monies and credit and trust works are the winners. We wait for moments like this to occur. The ones who put their full faith in banks by putting their money in banks are the losers in circumstances like this. The ones who know how monies and credit and trust works are the winners. We wait for moments like this to occur. What those hype and those news and documentaries about bank runs will not enlighten you of is the fact that another reality exists. Pay attention. I have a Patreon page and I'm inviting you to come join. Are you interested in discharge? We show everything about how it's done and my own experience. Consistent posts are made explaining many things regarding said discharge. Many will seek and simply wouldn't find. Those dealing with mortgage issue or want to know more about it, we speak of it. For those dealing with basic stuff like traffic issues, we speak about the solution and I show it from my own experiences and how I permanently prevent any such issues. Those worrying about trust, different types of trust, we go over so many things consistently regarding trust. We show the IRS manuals. Those who are interested in suing and making money through debt collection or other means, we go over it, we show it. I show my own settlement checks and the things that I've done as a personal experience. Those interested in banking, We show subtle details and intricacies of the things that I have learned for those interested in other things like the IRS forms and how to put it to use. We show it, explain the details. For those interested in court-related matters and intricacies, we always show it. For those interested in the spiritual aspect of things and how it works, we show and explain it. Those with child support matters, we explain and we show everything in detail also. Great puzzle pieces that can never be found in other social media platforms, but we explain it all as it relates to many different things. For those interested in express trusts and the issue of how not qualifying for taxation, which I call dinking, how it relates to any other type of trust or any other affairs, and how you can intertwine your affairs into the different types of discharge that exist and lack of qualification for taxation. Speak about it. The truth about really recusing attorneys and the whole foreign agent registration and attorney lawyer number, we speak about it. Speak about how to really bring about juries, and some of the comment section asks good questions and greater answers are given. Speak about how to get and use tax exemptions for vehicle use and sales. You don't have to belong to some organization. You can actually get yours according to the language of the legislature within your state. Go over the details that a lot of people mentor about regarding Article 1, Article 3. What really makes a court? It's not limited to just your paperwork. Most people don't know. We go over business matters for those with actual businesses, S Corp, C Corp, LLCs, those who are business minded and those who make money. Go over other things that a lot of people don't know, functions internationally. We speak about a lot of other spiritual related matters. Details on how to bring criminal charges, what it truly means to bring criminal charges, what a bill of particulars, how to recuse a judge, details of the parliamentary rules in court and legislature, different things about standard of evidence and burden of proof, different things that a lot of people will speak of. Discovery. But did you know there are 6 types of discoveries? You know how to intertwine your LLCs and S Corps with an express trust, how to not make them taxable. Do you know when Trinity versus Pagliaro really is involved? Do you know how to use your home as a home office? And the many details involved. Go over the injunction and how to enforce the different types of injunctions that exist. The intricacies of how data brokers exist and how they steal information. Not just the credit bureaus, but many data brokers and how you can prevent them. We go over grants, getting grants. We go over issues and solutions of CPN and how they're created. There are about 6 or 4 to 5 different parts that were created. We go over caveats where people say sue them, but they don't really know. We go over the things to do after you sue them. We go over the issues of privacy and technology. All the whole thing about perfection of security interest, UCC, and how to use it and how to monetize the birth certificate, all that. We go over the details. There are a lot of principles and doctrines people don't know about that we go over. Go over how to really do the copyright and details involved in it. Go over how to simply do a trademark. It's far more easier than you think. All these people telling you go to a trademark office, do this, write this letter. It's not that difficult. Go over how to fill out the GSA bond box at a time, and so many more. How to get settlement checks, how to put your vehicle in a trust. I show you from my own experiences, form for form, step by step. Go over the different types of relief to be granted. The type of relief you seek invokes the type of jurisdiction that you fall under. All these people speaking about chancery, equity, and law, common law. The relief that you seek is directly tied to the type of jurisdiction. Go over the CPN, how it's created. Go over how to obtain bonds, where to do it. Go over the different types of discharge and some more. We explain each of those types of discharge. We explain how trademark and copyright is affiliated with asset protection. We go over how to prove trust. We go over the different types of fraud. We go over the importance that many people will never know. So many more. I show my own experiences in the audio calls from court cases of how I get different types of settlement checks. Go over the different types of discharge. There's so much more that it can't even completely be spoken of here regarding trust. We go over how to create it step by step, and many more things that will never be shown on YouTube or any other platforms. Go over other principles that people don't know about. And they speak about statute of limitation. Well, fraud does have a statute of limitation, but do you know how to subvert it? As to why that phrase fraud has no statute of limitation to bring it to life, most people don't know. There's so many things that we speak about. We speak about how to garnish people's checks and people's property. There's a form that you use for that. People don't know about it. Speak about details regarding foreign trustees. Speak about spiritual related matters. And on the Instagram page, if you get to join, come on over. There's also a Facebook page where questions and answers are posted and other reminder links to certain videos are shown. Until next time, take care. Best of luck.